Okay, I think we are live. Let me know in the comments below if you can hear me, see me all good. This is episode 13 of Your First Jungle Clear. This is the show where I go over the early jungle paths of members in my community. Reason being, early jungle path, I think it's such an important aspect of a jungler's game. You have the most influence impact on the map with your laners in that time. The later the game goes, the more it's out of your control. Obviously, compared to a laner, you don't have the amount of experience and gold that they have, so you're sort of more into the terms of like a ward bot / supportive style. So early game definitely can get the ball rolling, be able to carry later game, but jungler early game really important. So let's jump into our guests. We actually have 4 guests lined up. We still have 2 more spots probably to fill. Maybe can push for a 7th as well. So if anyone is in the chat, or I'll actually post right now on my Discord that I'm live. Anyone else wants to come on, we have spots available. Okay, so our first guest is going to be Johstim, actually. I will drag you in a second. Sounds like you can hear me all good on the stream. Then we will jump straight into it. So I'm just going to post right now in my Discord. So also, the way this works, if you're first time, I don't really pay attention to chat whilst I'm actually in the review itself. But after the VODs, that's when I'll actually take a time to look at chat. So if you have any questions, I will revisit the chat after each VOD review. Okay, so I'm just getting our first game up as well so we can transition into this nicely. Alright, the first game is actually going to be a Zhao game. So I actually had my guide that I was working on last week with that. I've obviously released. I've almost finished the bonus videos. That was the reason why there was only 1 episode last week of this show. Usually I try to do 2 a week, but I'm thinking of maybe actually putting this down to 1 a week, this time every week, because I do want to spend a lot of time working on these guides. They actually take me a lot of time to put together. I need to spam a lot of games, so might be cutting back on these. We'll see how my next guide, which is going to be Eve, is going, based on whether I want to do it this Thursday or not. Another episode of Your First Jungle Clear, but we'll have to see on that. So that's how that's going to work. All right. So, going to drag in our first guest now. All right, Koisi, you're on the air. Can you hear me all good?
I can hear you perfectly. Yes, sir.
Excellent. How do I pronounce your name, by the way? Is it Koisi?
Yeah, Cozy works.
And what's your real life name?
It's Johstim.
Johstim? So it's actually the same one. Oh, so Johstim. Okay, that's how I pronounce it. Gotcha. So the same in the chat.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, Johstim. I am grabbing your game up right now on the stream. You should be able to see it. So basically all you want to do is just mute the stream, listen to me on Discord, and then just watch it through the actual game through the stream itself.
Got it. All right, I'm seeing it.
All right, so this is the game. You're versing a Shaco. Is this the right game?
Yeah, that's quite right. That's the one.
So this game was a while ago, and you've played obviously a lot of games since then. Obviously, this is a Zhao game, so this is going to be... I mean, this is great. I've been literally thinking about Zhao for the past week, obviously doing the guide. So, did you actually come across my channel through the Zhao guide out of curiosity?
Yeah, that's exactly how I found about you. Indeed, just 3 days ago.
Awesome. Okay, so you're
That's
very
how I
new.
found you.
All right, so looking at your runes here, obviously, did you see this guide before this game?
No, this game is actually before the guide.
Gotcha, because I can already
So
tell
that's
from the
why
runes here that I'm looking at. You're going the
I used
Conqueror.
to exactly. That's the point that I wanted to like clarify because I wasn't aware of many tips that you teach.
Yeah, so going Conqueror, I mean, I explained this a bit in my guide itself. Like, I just don't think it makes sense on Xin. Like, if you want to play Conqueror, play those champs like Olaf or Lee Sin, or champs that can utilize it much better. Like, Xin Zhao is very much all early game, talking about the hydraulic press thing that I was talking about in the guide, just break in, just snap in a tower, and Conqueror sort of, like, you don't want the fuss to go long. Your ganks are very short. Like, once you're in, you E, people are either going to flash away or run away from you. No one's going to sit there and stand and just, get hit by Xin Zhao, right? So I think Conqueror sort of like defeats the purpose, especially this game as well. If you're thinking versing a Shaco is never going to sort of just auto attack you and fight you, and if he does, you're going to lose anyway because you're versing a Shaco. Tryndamere is actually a pretty big counter, I think, to Xin Zhao. Obviously, you engage all in on him, and he just ults. Nocturne Conqueror, I guess, is okay, but Ezreal definitely very difficult to get on. Ezreal super sticky, but Kiana doesn't. Kiana support, actually, I think, this game. So that's actually a bit strange. Conqueror probably does alright against Kiana. But basically my point here is that Conqueror just doesn't make sense. And obviously you probably know that from the guide itself. But have you actually tried at Halo Blades? Like, do you feel a big difference?
It's a huge difference now that I've been using Halo Blades, because it pushed me to work full time in my early game. And I've been getting a lot of success out of that. So yeah, very grateful for that.
Awesome.
And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you just want those ganks to be very quick, done, Halo Blades, get that knock up off it. I mean, Halo Blades works so well with Xin Zhao's Q, right? So, all right, so let's talk a little bit about your game plan coming into this. What sort of area of the map what lane did you want to really press here? Like, what were you thinking in terms of early game jungle path? If you remember at all. I mean, this was 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's been a little while, and I already played like 20 games after that. But if I remember, I was trying to pressure bot because I didn't want Kiana to get fed. I mean, it was support, yes, but if I get her behind, it would be way useless, I believe.
Yep, definitely agree with you there. I think that in terms of top lane, like Ornn's fine to sort of leave alone, but I actually would do the level 2 gank strategy in this game against a Tryndamere, because obviously Tryndamere doesn't have ult, and it's actually going to be most vulnerable in the early stages. He's playing Ignite, so you can punish him really hard, the fact that he doesn't have teleport, right? Your Ornn has teleport. So I would actually have done this path. I mean, obviously this is going before the guide you saw. Red, Krugs, gank top. Shaco is a hard matchup for Xin. Actually a really, really difficult matchup. So I wouldn't be looking to invade him. I think it's a little bit scary. I think mid is very vulnerable. Nocturne's always going to be hard pushing in. I don't know if you played against much Nocturne mids, but their strategy is essentially to Q, passive the wave, and then roam with their ult and stuff. But obviously they don't have ult early game. I think that Sylas and Nocturne will be fighting a lot. But I do like your idea of killing Kiana. I mean, Kiana, that's not a good support champ at all. Definitely punish that. Miss Fortune's a very good lane bully, very good to get ahead. And Rakan, obviously, sort of is a really good scaling support. So I think you have a lot of options this game, basically. And you always do with Xin Zhao. Except for those champions that I talked about in the guide that were really difficult to gank, which is like the Vlads, Lissandra, the champions, any champion that has an escape tool, like Xin Zhao sort of sucks against, honestly. Even Ezreal, in a way. So let's take a look at your early jungle path here, and we'll see what you do. I think there's about...
Yeah, let's see, because I quite don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, this will be sort of a jog of memory for you as well, then that's fine. So you do place a ward there, but remember, we would want to be placing a ward here for the level 2 gank strategy, right? To see if Tryndamere, if you're going to do that this game, to see if he wards, right? So you would have placed a ward there, red, Krugs, come up, straight gank this. But obviously, again, this is before the
Now I do that. Now I do that every game, and it's been working out.
Actually, you still did the Krugs path as well, interestingly enough. I actually wasn't expecting you to do this.
Okay.
Do you remember why you did this?
Not really. I was kind of in autopilot, I believe, because I wanted to clear first the top side because I wanted to focus bot.
Okay, yeah, that's good as well. I mean, that you're on the right. I definitely would have done the same. But again, I think you really could have ganked top here. But you're actually going for a mid gank, and I really like this from you. This is really good. Burn his flash. So I think right now your early game's actually pretty good, honestly, and I'm pretty impressed that this was before the gank. But again, the Halo Blaze just would have been so much more effective here than Conqueror.
Yeah, absolutely. I would get the knockup way easier.
So always the problem with Xin is that you always feel like you're low mana, right? Like especially after you do one gank, like once you don't do EQ, you don't have blue buff. It's really difficult, I always find, with Xin Zhao to not like continue on the map without blue buff. So you actually get level 3 off this, and you're looking to come back here. Actually, that was pretty good. You actually healed off Triumph there. But, okay, actually, this guy's sticking around. I mean, I don't know what he's doing here. You still have Flash. Alright, that's fine. Trade those kills. That's good.
I do think I ended up killing him, yeah.
Alright, now straight bot. I mean, if these guys are pushed up this far, this is definitely a free gank. So Q, I love that you're starting off as well with Q. So it looks like you had a pretty good understanding of all the mechanics of Xin before actually watching the guide. Like, I mean, sometimes I see lower elo Zins, and I did talk about that. The how they people just E in versus just hold your E for when they E or flash, right? So I like the auto attack here. Use the Q auto attack reset. E in, burn his flash. Unfortunately, Kiana's probably going to get away now. She's a little bit slippery. Alright, so I definitely want you to be looking to get bot Rift Scuttler here. And what and what I actually want you to do as well is actually re-gank this. So, if you look at the wave position right now, so you back off, right? I mean, this is something that, I mean, I guess right now Ezreal actually should be basing. So, maybe he wants to stay right now and actually push this wave in. But right now, there's a lot more minions to your minions, right? So this is going to actually keep pushing towards you. So what I would actually do right now is actually loop all the way back round and just go for a regank. And it looks like they actually start fighting.
Yeah, I should have stick around a little bit longer.
So imagine if you were here right now. Like, these guys are dead. You have flash. So you could have looped all the way around instead of you know, using all that time to kill Gromp, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, sort of, that just really comes down to assessing the lane state and what the wave's looking at. And, I mean, I think that was a little bit suicide from Ezreal, but again, in lower elos like this, they'll think that you're backing off. And yes, it's okay for you to back off through lane, and they wouldn't suspect you to actually come down and regank. Like, that's actually not a thing that junglers really do. It's like they do their gank and then they sort of back off, but sometimes think like, when can I actually regank based on the wave position? So does that make sense to you?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really important on Zen to get reganks off. So once you've burnt summoners, then you always try and look to just regank, especially like, you know, flash is a really, really big cooldown. If they don't have flash, you still have flash as well. Those are like almost guaranteed kills for Zen.
Like I've been realizing that using the Halo Blade get me in that mentality of being super aggressive in the early game and doing the regen strategy. I mean, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you, obviously, you say there with the mindset, but in terms of actually getting those ganks off as well, like, it's just so much easier. Just get the easy Q off, W, they're dead.
Cool, yeah.
Okay, so I like the fact that you've burned a lot of summoners bot, but unfortunately, like, in terms of looking at your bot lane right now, it looks like they're actually losing. And obviously they did because, you know, they fought again and you weren't there to help them. In terms of where I want you to be going again, so top right now I'd be viewing is not worrying about top at all. And what I'd be doing right here is creating an efficient jungle path around bot side. So you want to come and clear your second Krugs right now. Do your Raptors, because you know how you said before you want to do the red Krugs strategy because you didn't want to be top side. The most efficient thing for you to do here is come get your Krugs. Krugs gives the most experience in gold. I talk about it all the time. Such a good camp on the map to get. Yeah. Raptor camp, and then you're actually going to start pressing bot. So that's what I want you to do this game. Unfortunately, you didn't buy any. You couldn't actually afford any control wards, but ideally you are basing on control wards. And what actually looks like you do here, you skip your topside camp. So this is really going to hurt you in terms of, like, because think about it right now. If you force him to come down to wolves right now, and let's say you can't get dragon, right? Because like, so now you're actually walking away from your win condition, the place you want to be pressing, right? So you've just done your wolves. Now you're coming to Raptor camp. And now you're on golems, and now you're stuck. You don't want to be topside at all here, you know? So you see how inefficient this is? Instead of, so you did this path, and you should have done this path. You'll see the arrows on the stream in a second.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it. But yeah, it makes so much sense now.
Because you don't want to be top anymore. Like, top's unkillable. Trinium is level 6 now. I think you've lost your opportunity, right? Which is fine. but you spent all your resources bot, and you're on the other side of the map right now, you know, which is not where you want to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm learning a lot actually. Yeah, I'm realizing the flaws I have.
And in terms of like looking back on your games, like when I first ever started reviewing my games as well, I didn't realize as well, like you look back at it now, a lot of this stuff is probably obvious to you, but in the moment you sort of don't think about it too much. You don't actually realize like how much you've like maybe messed up your jungle path in, or bad decision making was, until you actually not in the game, you review it and you're like why did I do that, you know? So I mean, I can hear in your tone as well, of voice, it's like you're like, well, you know, this is pretty obvious stuff, but I'm doing it, you know, you're seeing yourself doing it still.
Yeah, obviously this was before the guide, so I didn't have strong fundamentals. Like I've been improving a lot since then. So I wanted to like re-clarify like my flaws with this game, because it makes sense now for me. It's too obvious, the mistakes.
So I'm trying to think this. So you go pretty. This is really aggressive right now. So like this is sort of the situation I never want to be in, as in Zhao. I never want to be flashing in on someone when they're like this amount of health. I'll only do that if they're like very, very much one shot, because like let's say right now you like all in on this guy and you don't have Halo Blades as well. So it's just going to be impossible to like kill this guy, you know? So you go for the dive here. When you're in tower range, this was like really suicide, and Kiana's missing. She comes up, kills you. So that's really bad. You lose a lot of tempo from that and momentum.
Yeah. What a mistake.
Okay, so this base right here, you buy a one longsword. This is where you definitely need to switch out to Sweeper Trinket. And obviously I talk about that a lot in Xin Zhao as well in my guide. I switch out to Sweeper Trinket like instantaneously, right? To utilize the zombie ward, but you definitely need to start getting control wards here, because your strength again as Xin Zhao is like pressuring river lanes, and you not getting two control wards is really going to hurt you, especially to try and get a dragon. So always think like this buy is fine getting Warhammer from that base, but you need two control wards here, and I think you potentially could have gotten boots and maybe one control, but I think two control wards is what I would go here. Visions is so important. I had a whole slide on that in my guide talking about the use of vision. Control wards. I always say they win you games. So especially around objective control, like Dragon. Like if you've been watching my bonus videos for the Zing guide, I show you like literally my thought process around how I'm control warding. And if you actually look at my silver games, I ward more than my support. Like I literally have high vision scores on my support all the time, you know?
Wow, such an important skill to have, no? The vision. Yeah, it's so key.
It's not also so much the vision itself, it's actually the denying the vision aspect of it. So making sure that the enemy team doesn't have vision of an area, so then you can be like in the darkness, the enemy jungler doesn't know where you are. That's the actual threat as a jungler, them not knowing where you are on the map. As soon as you show on the map, it's like all your threats gone.
True. Yeah, and I remember that at this point, I don't know why I was going top. I assumed that it's just that I didn't have my win condition.
Yeah, that's what it looks
like.
Yeah. Really. Like right now, what I'm seeing right now, you're just getting dragged around the map. You're like, oh, top's ganker, well, I'm going to come there. But like right now, in terms of your experience in gold, you're level 5 right now at 8 minutes, which is really bad. So I think what's highlighted here is inefficiency in jungle pathing. Your not obviously around a win condition right now. You're sort of just like, oh, gank top, oh, gank bot. Like ganking top right here is not going to win you the game. Ganking bot, getting dragon, 4th win drag win condition. That's how you're going to win this game, right? So
exactly, I didn't have that clear.
So yeah, I mean, this is actually a great VOD for you, I think, in terms of like looking at what your Xin Zhao was like before the guide and now like after the guide, right? Because I mean, even now you can tell it's like, well, I didn't have a clear win condition. It's like, you know, exactly. And you actually lose dragon from that as well. So definitely don't want to be losing dragon.
I see in the pings how they just like literally just start spamming dragon because they see me top. Like
yeah,
it's such a good good learning experience, this thing, because it's the showcase of the things I've been improving. It's so obvious now, but I'm very grateful with you, Nathan. I've been learning a lot.
No worries, that's what I'm here to do. So it looks like you actually have lost that Rift Herald there, which sort of sucks. You couldn't do that. They got Dragon so fast. But yeah, in terms of like I mean, obviously this show's all about early games, so I think there's a lot for you to take from there as well. I mean, in terms of like what I would view right now, like you are 2-1-1, so your scoreline looks okay, but you never be tricked by your scoreline because like if I look at the amount of pressure you put down early game, which is what you need to do as Xin Zhao, I actually view this game as like a loss for you, like right now. Like whether no matter what happens after, it's like you messed up your Xin Zhao, you didn't do like the level 2 gank strategy, you didn't press a certain area, you haven't bought controls, you don't have a red sweeper trinket. So like even though you're 2-1-1, like I would say that this was like a really like low pressure early game based on Xin Zhao's strength, you know. So yeah, I hope that that was helpful for you. Is there anything else you wanted to ask about maybe Xin Zhao specifically or this early game of yours?
Well, I actually just was excited that now in the future I can show you like my a next review with all these things fixed.
Yep.
Because yeah, previously I've been doing way better with the jungle pathing in the early game. It's been working a lot. So about Chinsel, I wanted to like do like a little question about why you have such a low priority in the Trinity Force item.
Yes. So I think it's more so I've been testing this out a lot. I think it's more because I was playing in high elo, and especially because I was blind picking Xin Zhao a lot of the champions I was versing, like Trinity Force is not going to do anything for me. I'll just get one shot. I'm too squishy. And I feel like Xin Zhao really is better in like team comp specifically, where I have lots of damage threats already, that I will go like Sterax into like Stoneplate or, you know, those builds that I've been going, especially my bonus videos. But yeah. I did show you, I did play some games in lower elo that I played with Triforce, and I think Triforce is much better for silver-ish elo the way you're going, because obviously you can't exactly rely too much on your teammates carrying you, right? So I think it's more of because I was playing in high elo versus low elo. But I still think that in lower elo as well, the tank Xin Zhao works really well, because people are always tricked that, because people are pretty used to Xin Zhao being really squishy, right? So they'll try and kill you, but they don't realize that you're actually building tanky, and they waste all their abilities, you ult, and then they're sort of like, well, we didn't kill Xin, and then they will just die. So I've honestly found both still effective in low elo and high elo, and that's what I wanted to show with the bonus videos as well, that it's not just, you don't have to go Triforce, but if you have a bad early game, just never go Triforce, because you're going to be so far behind in gold to actually get that, and you're going to be super squishy. But if you go Trinity Force, then that means that you've really had a good early game. Like you have 0 deaths, really. That's like the way. The only time I get Trinity Force is if I have like literally 0 deaths.
That makes a lot of sense. And just a final question, like regarding the Sterax. I've been using a Phantom Dancer instead of Sterax lately, and I don't know what's your opinion about that, but it's been working for me a little bit. Obviously, when the enemy team doesn't have like a ton of CC, because I don't get to use a lot of the Sterax active, but the attack speed and the 25 chance of critic sometimes like makes a difference in the 1v1s and damage. I don't know what's your take on that.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think that the actual stat itself, like attack speed, you don't want a Xin. Like you have enough of that with Howler Blades, right? And remember, all you're doing when you go into a fight is you're just getting EQ off. That's it. You're like never in a situation where you're actually constantly attacking. And it's the same philosophy with Conqueror as well. That you don't want to be like, if you're having long fights as Xin Zhao, that's not what you want to be doing, right? It needs to be quick, short fights. That's what I talked about in the guard as well. So getting attack speed from Phantom Dancer, like the attack speed stat itself, actually is counterintuitive to what you want to be doing as Xin Zhao. Like Phantom Dancers for champs like Graves or something like that, you know?
All right. Yeah. That explains it.
And Sterax just makes you tankier. It gives you health. Like you're not going to be tanky at all with Phantom Dancer. Obviously, it has the active off it. It makes you a little bit tanky, but again, I just think that going Sterax is much better. Phantom Dancer wouldn't go attack speed. Just don't build at all unless you're going the Trinity Force build. Maybe Trinity Force Phantom Dance is okay, but again, I still think Sterak's Trinity Force is the best like combo, which is again a very expensive build. But if you're ahead, go for it.
Awesome. Yeah, Nathan, I appreciate a lot of your time and taking. Yeah.
No worries,
Yeah,
man.
I'm so excited because
We'll be able to
it's such
see
a good
it.
experience. So thanks a lot.
I definitely want to see your progress. That's what I'm really keen to see. So this is obviously before the guide, and I mean, so next show probably I did say maybe in a week's time. Keep playing that Xin Zhao. I mean, again, I think your fundamentals on Xin Zhao before watching this right now. You knew how to use your Q auto attack reset. You knew to save your E for ganks. So I'm actually pretty excited to see your progress and just keep applying it. Watch my videos again, and you will start climbing. What's your actual goal for your ranked for season? Did I talk about this with you? I think it was it gold, platinum?
Yeah, I've been looking to do my goal to at least get to platinum. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I will
Yep.
talk to you in Discord, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, and I'll keep watching. All right.
Excellent.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Goodbye.
All right, great. That was our first guest. Really cool that it was a Xin Zhao game based on obviously the content that I've been putting out the last week or so. So our next guest here is going to be, looks like Ranger Robbie here. So I'm going to jump on. His profile here. I'll switch out the scenes. So Barkley in the chat says, when say only build Trinity Force when you're ahead, what constitutes as a head? Is it number of kills? Is it tower advantage? A head's more, it's more just gold in your inventory. Obviously that's really related to kills. So it's sort of like kills, but the also correlation to that is deaths. So if you have like more than like 2 deaths, I mean, I even think it's like 1 death. If I have 1 death, like I feel like I just have lost too much momentum on the game to actually build Triforce. So it's literally like you feel like you have, it's sort of like if you can base on like a phage, then like maybe that's okay. But if you really have to like sort of build the components of that. But the great thing about the Trinity Force versus Sterak's as well, and that's actually one thing I didn't mention to our last guest, was you can quickly switch that out. So if you build Longsword Ruby Crystal, the same things build the Sterak's items, right? So you can switch it out really quickly. So pretty much I think if you feel like you're going to have a lot of gold, go Triforce. But again, I talk about it really rarely. I went Triforce on Xin Zhao in the way that I made my guide. I think it was probably like 5 out of the 30 games. So not much at all. All right, so we will drag our next guest in here in a moment. Just jump in on his profile now, get his game up. Okay, looks like we actually have a 5th guest as well. So we do have one more spot, I will say. So if anyone else wants to come on the show tonight, we do have one more spot to fill. All right, so next game is going to be a Hecarim game. I'm actually I'm a long time Hecarim player. I think he's actually a really good champion, and I actually will make a guard on Hecarim definitely this season. I think he's really, really good for solo carrying games, especially in lower elos. Alright, so we're going to drag Ranger Robbie in now. Alright, Ranger Robbie, you are on the air. Can you hear me all good?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm going to assume is your real life name actually Robbie or Robert or...
No, it's Aaron, which is kind of a long story, but
okay.
Gotta get into that. It's kind of funny though.
Alright, I'm just going to call you Robbie though because I like that name.
That's fair.
All right, Robbie, your game is up now. It should be popping up on the stream in a second.
Sweet.
Okay, so Hecarim. Tell me about Hecarim's like sort of a champion that sort of disappeared from the meta-ish. Like, why do you play Hecarim? Just enjoy it? It's really good.
I feel like I just see like a lot of other people playing, especially like this is kind of a while ago, but one of my friends used to play him a lot, so I always kind of saw him play him. I thought it was like, I'm not just like a good champ with like a lot of utilities that I feel like I can actually use. Unlike some other champs, I just don't really quite like handle the mechanics super well, but like Hecarim, I feel like I can kind of grasp an understanding of. So I don't know.
Okay, so looking at yours, just your summon spells and runes to start off. Have you tried Ignite Hecarim, like Ignite Smite?
I have not. No.
I really think that's the way to go. I would never take Flash on Hecarim. If I'm not taking Ignite, I'll take Ghost, but I think Ignite's the way to go. It's just makes you so strong in terms of like early game, especially against a Sedge. So I recommend you trying that out. I think Flash is useless on Heck because you sort of like you're really going to pick your fights in terms of like you want to engage fights with like E. Like E is like literally like that's like a lot of your damage, right? And then let's say, I mean, you don't want to be using your ult defensively, but I feel like that if you're sort of needing to use Flash, like you've like messed up basically. So
Yeah.
I would try either Ignite, but I recommend, sorry, it goes to Ignite. Never take Flash on Hecarim. Try those out, see how you go, but that's just my recommendations for summoner spells. You do go Conqueror here. Conqueror, Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. So, especially against... I actually really don't like to take the Alacrity rune on Hecarim unless I feel like I'm versing a very, very much like low CC comp. Which is not the case this game. You're against a Kiana, Sejuani, Zillion. Like, Tenacity here, super important. And the great thing about that as well is that it gives me room to build Ninja Tarbs. And this is actually a game that... Because otherwise you'll be forced to build Merc Treads, right? So this is a game where I would want you to build Ninja Tarbs. You're against a Fiora, a Kiana. Sejuani's not really going to be doing much AP damage at all. Obviously, she's pretty magic damage based. Kais is a little bit mixed, but like... So what you're actually doing now, you're forcing yourself into buying Merc Treads, you know?
Yeah. If I recall, I think I ended up buying Ninja Tabbies.
So that's going to make it very difficult. If you get, like, Zillion can literally slow you, and you're going to get the full, like, impact of that slow. If you get stunned, Sedge ult, you just get one shot in any CC, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's even this game where you go Merc Treads and Tenacity. I think actually this could be a game where you double up Tenacity, and then you sort of build, like, a Dead Man's or something like that for the armor items. Because, I mean, I'm thinking for the one-shot potential, like, if you can get out of a Sejuani ult or a Kiana ult, like, that's actually really, really important because those champs are pretty one-dimensional in that aspect. So, take the Tenacity here. I also really like Last Stand instead of Coup de Grace, just in general on Hecarim, because, and this also combines with his Ignite as well. That's why I want you to go the Ignite, because you actually bait people into you, because you want to be fighting in melee range, right? Like, you don't have any ranged abilities. Where Hecarim's strongest is when you're like 20% health, everyone's like, oh, I can easily kill this Hecarim, but you've got Conqueror, you've got Last Stand, and you've got Ignite. And like, you just obliterate people. And I've had so many situations where you can just like 1v3 people because they're like, oh, Hecarim's low health, but they don't realize you can turn fight so quickly. And it all synergizes off your W as well. Like, obviously your W is based on how much damage you do. So if you're getting all that damage off in that short period of time, you just heal up so well.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendations for that. And I also really like going Magical Footwear, Cosmic Insight as well, because those runes are like very, very scaling. And like, in terms of early game, like, these are early game rooms that I look right here. Like, yes, I know Celerity obviously works with Synergy as well with Hecarim because move speed makes him do more damage, right? But in terms of getting, like, not worrying about brutes, getting that Item Spike, that Warrior ASAP, and also Cosmic Insight, like the 5% CDR, because you actually will build a lot of CDR in your build, right? Getting 45% CDR early, your Qs are just insane. So I feel I can carry so much harder on Magical Footwear, and I don't actually want to be fighting like much at all early game, and that's why I think Water Walking's a very much early game rune. I want to be killing people like in lanes and stuff, you know, just ganking. Just killing them. Like, I don't feel like Water Walking, because I actually like to give up Rift Scuttler as Hecarim, to be honest. Like, this game not so much. You're against a Sedge, but if I'm versing, like, you know, the aggressive junglers like Lee Sin, Elise, Rek'Sai, Shaco, I'll just give that up. You know, Water Walking's basically useless for that. So those are the runes I would recommend, and I've had like insane success with Hecarim with those runes. Like, I got to Master Tier last season with pretty much exclusively Hecarim playing those runes. So I know a lot about Hecarim runes. I said before I am going to do a guide on him, but I think those are just straight up the cookie cutter best runes for Heck. I wouldn't go anything else.
Oh yeah.
So does that all make sense there, Robbie?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a support main, so like I pretty much I guess I kind of autopilot when I pick runes for like other people. I guess I just kind of pick like the basic like good yellow ones. I feel like,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely I should probably if I start playing jungle more, I should definitely look at matchups and stuff way more.
Yeah, support runes are pretty boring, honestly. It's like, oh, gonna go Aftershock, gonna go
Aftershock
Guardian, gonna go. You don't change them that much, so.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to tell me a little bit about your jungle path and what you're planning to do early game? So it looks like you have gone for an invade. You've got a ward there. You switch out to red
It's very
sweeper.
awkward. Very awkward invade, in my opinion. But I think my path was originally gonna try and take their. I was gonna try and take their Raptors and then go to their red. But since they already had vision, I just decided to drop the ward and then take a sweeper and then drop bot.
Yeah, the way that I view, so I hate invades in solo queue. It just loses you games. It throws you games so quickly. As soon as you do a fail invade, I just back off instantaneously. And in terms of invade comp here, you have a terrible invade comp. You have a Kassadin, Hecarim has no CC, like Ornn has his like knock up, but like that's going to be very difficult to get off.
Yeah.
So like think about sometimes invade comps. If your team wants to invade, just look at the champions and just be the one to tell them, like, I don't want to invade. I'm not invading. Like, look at our champs. It's ridiculous. Like, because you can throw games like it, you know? You always want to minimize risk in the early game, and that's a big thing. Especially for Hecarim. Like, I want to just have a clean early game, no deaths. That's all good.
Yeah.
So I definitely really like starting red. I really think that Hecarim only should ever start red because blue side, obviously you're going to take in Talisman. Blue side, you obviously have to do Gromp, right? And that's a very inefficient camp for you to get as Heck. You're going to take way too much damage. So I think the best jungle path for Heck is actually to do just red, Krugs, Raptors. Like that's super efficiency. And Krugs actually, I don't know if you knew, but they got buffed a couple of patches ago, and they're actually really important to kill initially. So they've been nerfed initial experience, but scaling experience, they give like a lot. So I like to clear it off first off the map, get that debuff, the experience debuff off, get them scaling. You're just going to be flying to level 6 as quickly as possible, which is obviously your goal as Hecarim. You need to get level 6 ASAP, right?
Yeah.
So you doing Raptor camp right here is actually going to hurt you a lot, Robbie.
Oh, really?
Oh, actually, no, you actually went and did Krugs as well. So this path is okay as well, but think about how weird this path is right now. Say if you want to do topside camps, it's like, well, you're sort of forced to gank bot. And actually looking at bot right now, it may be doable. But you don't want to trap yourself into this situation, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely, I think when I was talking in chat too, I think I was trying to like telling them, hey, hang back, I'm going to come bot right away because they have like some that I feel like we could be pretty aggro on, but then one of them ended up dying right away, so I was just kind of felt like I was in an awkward spot, and that's probably because of my pathing on that.
So yeah, look how awkward this is right now. I mean, you're half health as well. Also, you always smite the big Krug as well. Never smite Raptor Camp as Heck because you do it so quickly. Smite the big Krug, and you'll be able to kill the big Krug and the small Krug about the same time just by using your Qs.
Yeah.
Because right now you're going to have 2 smites. You're about to have 2 smites right now, if you can see, and that's a waste. You know, you're wasting time on smite.
Yeah. Definitely.
Alright, so we definitely wasted a lot of time bot here. We just need to keep farming. Unfortunately, Kassadin did die there.
Yeah. I felt like my path really trapped me bot lane, so... yeah. Would it have been more effective to, rather than taking the leash that I took, if I would have started Raptors and then went to red and then went to Krugs? Would that have been a... better in this sense anyway?
Sorry, say that again.
So I know like, or at least when I look at like some different pathings that like, I don't know, like not really like pro, but like higher elo people take, they go like Raptors, then red, and then Krugs without like taking the leash that I took.
Yeah. So that is like a path I like to do on red side because I'm not going to get a leash.
Oh, yeah.
So not getting a leash because sometimes like top lane matchups, like top laners want to get straight to there. Say if you got like an aggressive Renekton or something like that, you don't really want to put them behind. Same as a Darius. So that's sort of the path I do red side. But blue side, I like to do leash, red, Krugs, Raptors, and then maybe look to do top side camps. I mean, pretty much most of the time because I want to try and just power farm. But if you're doing that path, then actually I like to do Raptors, Red, Krugs, and then base, get my Machete, because I'm going to be clearing much faster. Then go down bot, and then look to do Rift Scuttler, and then clear bot, or maybe even look for a gank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
So this is such a good situation right now. I love that this actually came up right now, that you went for the gank here. Like, if you ignited right here, she would be dead.
Yeah, instead of flashing, yeah.
Instead of flashing. Well, I mean, I guess they're both summoner spells, right? But obviously Ignite's on a much shorter cooldown than Flash,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
And people never expect you to have Ignite in terms of early ganks. And, like, the amount of difference, like, I like, you know, a lot of ganks, like, people survive on very low health. Ignite always is just that extra kicker just to kill them. And also, in terms of you having Conqueror Ignite, it actually increases your strength so much in terms of dueling early junglers. Like, no one can duel you because, I mean, sure, they have Flash, but you have Ignite. You know, who's going to win?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so, I mean, I guess that gank was good mid. You killed Rift Scuttler now. Top. Just farm.
It just kind of felt like a really awkward early game for me, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, again, that's going to come a lot through the jungle path that you did being forced down here. But, I mean, I think this is fine. I mean, I think helping the Garen is okay here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Fiora's a really slippery champion to gank here. I just need you to base it. I need you to do your Krugs. Krugs is really important to get on Heck. I need you to have a rule for yourself. At least get Krugs like once before 5 minutes. I mean, in terms of that path that I told you, you're going to be doing it anyway. But you must be getting Krugs off the map because you're going to feel so far behind in experience and gold. And you've actually just died here, which is not ideal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got fairly caught. If I would have backed out right away, I probably would have been fine, but I got a little greedy looking at the Fiora.
I mean, part of me as well, and this is sort of just telling you my mindset a little bit more on Heck. I actually wouldn't have helped my Garen here and literally just let him just run away and just base because I actually value momentum and like again there's Krugs and going bot like so much more higher than like helping this Fiora because you know like looking at Sedge right now, the fact that she's topside, you got top Rift Scuttler, this is actually telling me that bot Rift Scuttler is up. She can waste time top helping killing Garen, but you're going to come bot and you're just going to take bot Crab, Raptors, Krugs, and then you're just going to be so far ahead, right? You've double Rift Scuttler an enemy jungler.
Yeah.
So I think this is like even the situation. Let's say even if you killed Fiora, I still don't think it would have been worth because you lose so much momentum from this, and you actually die for it as well. So that's sort of just giving you an idea of the mindset that I'm in on Heck. Like I'm happy to just let my team die just to be the carry because you are the win condition in a way.
Yeah. Which I think I think I came back a little bit in this game because we ended up winning, even though like our Kassadin really fell apart, but. I think they surrendered at the end.
Well, I mean, obviously, Kassadin scales super hard. So if Kassadin gets to level 16, it's like game over, right? But it's obviously getting in the first place. Okay, so looking at... Looks like you're actually building Cinderhulk. So you don't like going Warrior. Tell me why that is.
I don't know. I guess I'm probably just used to, like, the different, like... I don't know. I felt like every time I built, like... try to build like damage Hecarim, I felt like I've just kind of not really known what to do. I kind of just like die right away, and then I just kind of like panic when I don't like one shot everybody. So I just kind of felt like I don't know, the tankier like just kind of sustain with the Cinderhulk would have been better, but I don't know.
So that just defeats the purpose of Hecarim, I believe. I feel like it's so like it's such a bad mindset. It's like I'm like going to play defensive Hecarim. I'm not going to just one shot someone because. Like, you don't exactly have any CC really to utilize the... I mean, obviously you have your fear and your E, right? But it's not like you're a Sejuani having constant stuns or something like that. Like, if you're building Cinderhulk, you be a true tank. Like, Hecarim is like a carry. Like, as soon as you build Cinderhulk, you, like, are throwing your carry option, like, out the window, basically. You're going to clear camp slower. You're not going to be able to just one-shot people. So I think it's really bad to go Cinderhulk. Just always, so I want you to start trying Warrior. But you saying there before, it's like you feel like you just died. You do need to be very careful about the engages you pick when you play Hecarim going that AD Warrior Triforce build, because obviously you can get one shot, but the opposite end is you can catch people off guard. You can run through a lane, just get that E off, just one shot someone, in reverse as well. Then you back out, just keep farming, rinse and repeat. So definitely go Warrior. In terms of your build here as well, you went Stalkers. So I really like Red Smite on Heck. And again, this is going back to, imagine combining Red Smite with Ignite. Like your during skirmish potential is insane. And go Blue Smite if you're against a bunch of really squishy range champions. But the fact that you're versing a bunch of melee champs, especially Sejuani, like Red Smite's going to do you way better this game.
Yeah.
So that's another thing as well. I'll go. I mean, in terms of if you felt like bot was your win condition, Blue Smite's obviously going to do a lot better versus a Zillion and Kai'Sa. But the way I also view Blue Smite and Red Smite as well is Blue Smite I take on junglers that I feel like I need it to get on target. So champs like Rek'Sai, my mind's gone blank here, but Rek'Sai is just obviously an example to get the knock up. But you don't actually have a problem with getting on targets with Heck because you got E and Alt, which makes getting that red burn, which does a lot more damage than Blue Smite off, so much easier, right?
That makes sense.
Okay, so we do bot Rift Scuttler now. So this is a really bad mindset you're in right now as well. So all your jungle path is like screwed up. You really need to get level 6. And why I say that it's all messed up is because like you're going for this gank right now. Your bot's up. You still haven't done Krugs once this game, which is pretty much the reason why you're so far behind right now. You're level 5 with which is really important for you to get. Wolves are up. Gromp spawning. Like you've just done Raptors, which is going to be staggered. You've now got to stagger the time on that camp because you're going for a mid gank. So this is like all messed up right now. Like your priority is to get level 6, not gank this level 6 Kiana,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You're ganking a level 6 Kiana with a Kassadin. What's Kassadin going to do? Like doesn't have any CC. Like he doesn't have like his items right now. Like this is scary. She's actually got like her serrated Dirk here, which means that that she's building Dustblade. So like she's really strong. She's level 6.
Yeah.
This is a really risky gank, I say. Like if Sedge is here, like you guys actually just die. And look at this, gank doesn't work. I could have said that ages ago. You're not building Warrior. You have no damage items. Kassadin doesn't have any damage. Impossible to kill Kiana. You don't have ult. Because the worst thing about this now is that you've showed on the map and you've done nothing. You've shown where Sejuani, it's like, hey, Sejuani, I'm mid, level 5, like I'm not that much threat. I have like these items. And now it's obvious that you've gone down bot side. So in terms of tracking, she knows where you are for like a long time now. Which again, as a jungler, like that's your really important tool.
Yeah. Yeah, I play when I play support, I focus vision a lot because like I don't know, I play like Pike and I get like Umbriel Glaive and stuff and I take out all the vision. So I guess I kept trying to do that as jungle, but like I guess I didn't really do it very well.
Well,
so she's just giving my position up and stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, Pike, obviously, you're a laner. So, like, you are only going to be really in certain areas of the map. Like, jungler, you can be everywhere, right? So, yeah, you sort of need to, like, tone down that mindset of, like, showing on the map and thinking about, well, I might show, but is it going to be worth it? That's a really important rule as a jungler.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a... Okay, gank though. I guess you're going to get the kill here. But I mean, I just view you as so weak right now. You don't have any mana. You weren't like full health here. Like you need to be very careful about your mana bar as well because your full combo, like with ult, actually costs a lot of mana.
Yeah.
So that's another thing as well. All right, so no controls out of base. You couldn't afford them. And again, you've showed mid again, and you've done nothing. You had no ult. That was going to be ungankable. There's no way you're going to be able to kill Kiana. Again, level 8. Kassadin has no power right now. You have no CC to lock her down. Don't know where Sejuani is. She could easily counter gank. That was a really bad gank. I mean, look at all your top side camps now as well, Wolves, Gromp, Blue, everything's up. So really think about your ganks as a jungler.
Yeah.
And look at this. You get turned right now. She's going to kill you. She kills your Kassadin and runs away. So you've actually... That was your fault for the Kassadin. Like, now you're actually putting him even further behind from that game as well. So sometimes, again, think how strong is the enemy laner. Kiana's level 9. She has ult. Again, you're not very strong at all. You have Cinderhulk. There's just no one in a million years you're going to be able to kill a Kiana, without you not having ult. So... So... Yeah, there's obviously a lot we sort of covered in here in terms of jungle fundamentals. I'm talking a bit about Hecarim, but was there any questions you had about your early game here?
No, I think you've definitely cleared up a lot of the issues that I had. Yeah, I feel like my early game is just a lot weaker compared to my late game, which is like, I feel like a total flip for when I lane versus when I jungle. So it's definitely helped a lot though.
Well, you've come on the right show here, Robbie. This is all about the early game, and I do talk about the early game being so important. So I think that's actually going to hinder you if you're more of a late game player. Then like jungle's like not the role for you unless you figure out the early game. Like you must figure out the first 10 minutes as a jungler. Like perfect it, perfect your jungle path in, and then the rest of the game becomes a lot easier for you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And do your Krugs, Robbie. You must be doing your Krugs as much as possible. Switch your path, red Krugs, Raptors, top side clear, and as I said, you can do the other red side clear with Raptors, red Krugs, and then base and go bot. So try out those, try out Ignite, try out Last Stand, Tenacity, and I feel like your games will be going a lot smoother.
Yeah. Thank you so much though for helping me.
No worries, Robbie. Here to help. All right, thanks for coming on, and I'll potentially see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
See you later, Robbie. Okay, so that was our second guess. We're actually already 50 minutes into the show here, so this has gone a little bit longer than I expected. We have 3 more. I'm going to start powering through these. So our next one is going to be a good friend of the show, Poltron here, which means I need to log on to Oceania. So taking a quick look at the chat here. So Garnis, you can chuck your questions in chat, and I'll just revisit it after the review. So, I mean, I can see the chat right now. Like, we don't have too many people in here, so it's not like it's going to be flying. So ask your question. I can answer it for you after each review. So Barkley says, I might have to do some math on the red smite versus blue smite on Hecarim because I kind of wonder if the move speed steal from smite ends up being more damage. I don't think so. Remember, it's not just about the damage as well. It's also the reducing of their damage. So you're sort of like again, you're sort of missing something from blue smite. Like, sure, maybe the move speed is good to get on someone, but remember, you don't have a problem with getting on people because you're E already, right? So it just gives you so much more skirmishing power. Reduce their damage, get the extra damage off. I mean, I'd love for you to do the math and see if you find out if it actually does make a difference to his damage with the move speed. Okay, so we are going to log onto OS now. That's what I was doing. And we will drag in Poltron now. All right, Poltron, you are on the air.
Hello.
All right, so we've been climbing, Poltron. We've been climbing the ranked ladder.
Slowly getting up there.
So what are you at right now? You still Diamond 3?
Diamond 2.
Wow, powering through it. Okay, so this is a Gragas game of yours. Gragas isn't a champion I've seen Poltron play. Why are you playing Gragas here?
I used to play a fair bit of Gragas in Season 9.
Okay.
And I thought it was just a good... I think it was blind pick, actually. And I thought, alright, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I love Gragas. I think he's so good. More, I think, in high elos. I think he's just... His gank potential, like, flash E combo... So good. So I'm really excited here. That's why I said I love Gragas gameplay because Gragas is a very much early game sort of champion. You know, you need to be getting good ganks off high pressure, using that predator well. Okay, well,
I think he doesn't scale too badly either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're full AP, so you can always one-shot someone, right?
Yeah, you always have the ult for a team fight as well. Really messes up some champions.
Definitely a high skill cap champ, though. I think that the place with his ult and his Q and stuff is really, really important. I'm actually just going to answer a quick question from chat here by Wesley. For Xin Zhao, is it better to take Conqueror Triumph and then take Approach Velocity second? Or to take Halo Blades and go... I talk about this all in my guide, Wesley, my Xin Zhao guide. Take a look at my channel. Halo Blades is the way to go for Xin Zhao. Conqueror is literally like the opposite of what you're going to be doing with Xin Zhao with long fights. I mean, I can maybe see you going Conqueror if you want to go Triforce build and you're into a bunch of melee champs, but there's so many better champs that utilize Conqueror because you're missing out on Halo Blades, the Q synergy, just getting that knock up like instantaneously. Like that's so strong for his gank. So take a look at that, Wesley. And then that should answer your questions around Halo Blades versus Conqueror. I should have a slide on that specifically. All right, Poltron, let's jump into your game here. So tell me about your early game jungle path. What are you thinking? Where do you want to put your pressure? What's your win condition?
So this game I just 3-buffed my red side and then back to Predator. I think I was just planning to full clear bot, get Predator, run top, grab my blue buff possibly, and look for a gank top or mid. My top, I got Renekton into Ryze, so Ryze is weak early, we can definitely punch that. Mid lane, I'm not too sure how that matchup goes, but we do have Ignite mid over the TP, so I was assuming Zoe would hopefully have the edge in that lane. And my bot lane, we have an Ezreal Nami. Nami does have a fair bit of poke, but I don't know if Ezreal wants to fight early or not.
Yeah,
so I kind of just avoided that.
I hate fighting with Ezreal's early ganks, so especially you don't really have much CC with Nami. So, I mean, I always think starting red side is the way to go for Gragas. You talk about the, you want to do the red Krugs, Raptors into base. I actually like to do Raptors first, then Krugs. Because let's say if you're going top side, like in terms of the spawn, like Raptors is going to spawn more nicely, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So,
that's fair.
I mean, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. Like, I doubt you're going to be doing Raptors straight away. You probably want to pressure top, but I just like to do that just a little bit. I mean, it's not really going to make much difference, I think, either way. But also, as well, sometimes I actually like to open up for the bot gank. I mean, obviously, in this situation, you're not going to, but it also opens up doing Raptors Krugs, opens up for a bot gank early. And then maybe you just trade sides on the map, Yeah,
that's true. I think, again, with this clear, though, you're around Raptors with, full health, so if mid somehow gets ganked, you can always rotate to it before you're back.
Yep, you can view it the same way there as well, yeah. All right, basic for Predator. This is good. Top side. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of thinking about pressuring top, I definitely think that Ryze is definitely a very easy target. But the thing is that Renekton is pretty much always going to be pushing in a Ryze early because Ryze can't walk up because of the EW threat from Renekton. So really the only way you can really do this is getting off a good dive, which is definitely possible.
Yeah.
All right, he actually just got first blood. Never mind, is doing his job well. All right, so we see Lee Sin top side here. I love the pressure that you're doing here. Instead of doing your jungle camps, vision first, and then we do our jungle camps. I mean, you're putting out pressure right now. This is going to be free kill, I think, on this guy. Great stuff. Didn't even need to use Predator. Help Zoe push this in. So remember, right now, Lee Sin's top side. So you're just happy to give up top Rift Sculler. Is that why you're going bot side right now?
My top spacing, I'm not too sure if you wanted to TP at that point, so I just went to the bot crab. And I won't beat Lee Sin in a 1v1.
So I guess the sort of thing that sucks right now, it's actually obvious what jungle path you've done, right? So potentially going to lose your topside jungle as well. So in terms of like that trade in a way, like this is actually, I don't think ideal for you. So I mean, I'm thinking like this gank's definitely very good. Like this is good. Kill him here. Push this in.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you show as a jungler, you're always going to lose something.
See, I think this is actually a case where you just go into your topside jungle and just get your camps. Like, obviously,
so just give up the crab and just go for
Well, I mean, he's forced to make a decision now. He can either, like, I feel like Lee Sin actually will try and pressure you topside, and I don't want you to start your blue. I just want you to do your wolves and just, like, sometimes just show on Lee Sin. Like, he will back off, and you will get these camps, because Renekton is missing, right?
Yep.
So I feel like you, like, making it obvious that you're going bot here as well. Like, you see how you walk bot? Like, this is giving him so much options. Like, if anything, maybe what you could have done is actually pretended to walk into your topside jungle. That maybe would have scared off
and then looped around.
Lee Sin, and then looped around and then just done crap.
Yeah.
That would have confused him so much. You know? I mean,
walk off out of vision, then, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Because, I mean, Lee Sin, he could maybe still do it, but that's a risk he's taken. And you remember, you always want the enemy jungler to be questioning what they're doing, because that puts on pressure. They will make mistakes because they're questioning what they're doing. But you're making it way too easy for Lee Sin right now. And out of curiosity, he's actually doing his Krugs right now, so he's not going to be able to do that. But you could have got punished way harder for this. So this is just because you're playing in Diamond 3, I think, that you're going to get away with this. I mean, you can't tell me in a million years that Krugs, that one Rift Scuttler, is worth more than 3 topside camps. You know?
No.
Because right now you're just like, you know, bot doing Krugs and stuff. And you've just been shown by Silas as well on mid. So I'm actually curious, what's Lee Sin doing now? Lee Sin literally didn't even get top crab. Okay. Okay. So definitely getting away with your early game so far, Poltron.
I think that Lee Sin's actually Challenger.
The Lee Sin?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's an OPL account, I think. I'm not too sure who it is. Lee Sin, the Lee's main. Plays a bit of LF. But yeah, maybe he'll scatter the Renekton going there. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. I think I should have faked, walk into my topside jungle if I wanted to go for the crab.
Yeah. All right, so you actually went red smite there. Do you actually sometimes go blue smite and red smite? I mean, do you actually switch them up? I think blue smite's always the best way to go.
Yeah, I went blue smite. I just misclicked the red smite.
Gotcha. Just make it double check in there. I mean, obviously you want to like get that E off, get that slow off. Because I mean, the best case scenario ganks for the Gragas is literally saving your E, them like just trying to juke you, like burn flash, and then you follow up with your E, right? So you just blue smite them, they just really start sweating. Alright, so you come here, do your topside camps. Two control wards here. Alright, so given that I really think that topside is your win condition, if topside's on win condition, I will control ward this brush like almost all the time. I think it's such a good brush to ward. It's just going to give you access to, Zoe will be able to freely hug topside, see if Lee Sin's coming down here. I feel like junglers never check this. I mean, think about how many times you walk through that brush. It's very rare, right?
Yeah.
This is such an OP thing, gives you so much information. And so that's what I would have done after this Rift Scuttler. Come, ward this, and then just keep doing your jungle camps. Like, always think when you've got two controls, like, don't be stingy. Just think about placing them somewhere. You know, it's better than keeping them in your inventory. They're there for a purpose. You know, you can always reposition it later on. Okay, so what happened here? So this is where communication would have helped a lot. I think you should have really said, Renekton, wait for me, please. You know?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to just barb in that wave. I was kind of hoping we could wait for the next wave to crash and go on that one, but yeah.
I mean, obviously in hindsight, I'm saying this now because this would have been way better if he just waited for you, but sometimes always just talking about your intention, like, just helps here and there, even if it might be obvious. So it's like, doing Rift Scuttler, like, we can dive top, like, identifying Renekton has ult, let's dive Rise. And then that just gives him an idea. And then, because, like, laners, especially in solo queue, especially in this elo, they're not thinking about the jungle. They're trying to be, like, heroes. They're going to be like...
no, I think this game was actually a high elo game. This one, at least.
Okay.
Not too sure who everyone was, but I think everyone was Master Plus.
Well, this Renekton's not even thinking about the jungle at all. They're literally around. He could play this so patiently. So that's a very low elo play by this Renekton. So a bit disappointed by that. But the thing that I'm trying to tell you here is just always just talk about your intention. You know, it helps. I can tell you it will help in certain situations like this potentially, and not go south for you. Alright, so you do your good old flash E combo, get a free kill on Rise. Your red is coming up soon. Okay, so I don't like the time you're wasting here. I think you really need to... So I want you to keep killing Rise, but I want you to base like right now. And go full clear bot side. So base, full clear bot side, create an efficient jungle path around your win condition, which is keep killing top. And because right now you're wasting, like there's nothing to get top anyone. I want you to get an early Rift Herald as well with Renekton's pressure. So you wasting time here. Base, go all clear all your bot side camps. Walk way up, just keep pressuring top side. I want you to break top.
I think there was a play that went pretty badly around bot. Because I'm not too sure why, but I know my bot's behind. But I thought, I'm fed. We can maybe try fight. And then we just, lose the 3v3 and it goes pretty sideways. It wasn't here, that was a bit later.
So, I mean, in terms of that, it's like, you're not going to win the game through bot, Like, your Nami's 0-2 right now. You're going to win the game through Renekton. And you need to shut down this Rise because Rise scales pretty hard, right? So, this whole gank is, like, not ideal mid at all. Like, you are losing so much momentum tempo from this.
Yeah, this mid gank was just trying to counter gank to keep him alive.
I mean, this is 2 versus 3 now. You don't know where Lee Sin is. I mean, I guess it's fine that you've done this, but again, this is sort of like in hindsight now. Again, the best decision right there was for you to just base straight away and just go clear bot. You would be like probably like almost like on your Krugs right now doing them, getting ready to Red Raptors, getting ready for Rift Herald at 8 minutes. Alright, so it actually looks like it works for you here. Oh, okay. Alright, well, never mind. It looks like it's good, but I feel like this is a bit of luck, A bit of luck involved versus, like, actual, like, thinking about what you want to be doing,
Not the right macro play. It worked out, but again, resetting early would have been better, so I could get back to my bot side and clear it.
Okay, so yeah, let's clear bot.
Yeah, I think it was right here. So I'm really strong. I got my Runic Echoes already. I think it may have been after Krugs. Yeah. So I saw lead top. I'm like, all right, maybe we can do something bot.
Yeah.
And again, this wasn't really too good because my bot doesn't have any damage.
That's right.
They're really behind.
Ezreal's as well. So again, like, if you think about it as well, all the way going back further and further and further, like, the game would have been, like, a lot differently, because you would have been, like, topside right now to protect your Renekton, right? So now he dies, and, like, you've spent your resources top, but now he's dying. You don't want to be bot side at all. So think about all the consequences of you just not basing, and not thinking about hard, like, pressing top, getting Rift Herald, breaking top tower as soon as possible.
I think, again, one thing I need to work on in solo queue is just, even in solo queue, playing for the win condition, don't play around losing lanes.
That's right.
Like, it's kind of stuff I know subconsciously, but actively, sometimes I don't do it.
Well, it's tough, but I mean, the thing is, you need to be very comfortable with just letting go of people just dying. Even if sometimes you feel like it's a free counter gank, do your ping and tell, like, let's say for Zoe, let's say you should have actually pinged her. If she doesn't back off, she dies, but you need to play around your win condition. Because now think about it as well, you've lost Rift Herald as well. So it's just, everything's gone south here. You've been trying to gank bot. Bot's literally not gankable in a million years. You haven't even come down here to burn Kaiser's flash in the first place. She has ult. Ezreal, Nami, like, Ezreal gets a tier. He doesn't have any damage. Nami's 0-2. So, like, you've just spread your resources way too thin this game and just been where you don't want to be constantly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I'm going to go for the early game Poltron. But always catch yourself. Whenever you start thinking about, like, oh, I'm going to compensate for this player, think about it. Is it worth it based around my win condition?
Yeah, definitely. Even though that, the mid 2v3 worked out, I think past that point, I really wasted a lot of time, I tried to think, I've got my Runic Echoes, I'm so far ahead of this jungle. I can even one-shot people if I full combo them. And I definitely didn't play to the win condition. I played around myself too much, even though I need to be playing for the right lanes.
I mean,
but yeah, again,
in terms of Gragas, you still need to be playing with lanes. Like, sure, you can be a carry, but you only can kill one person at a time, right? So it's not like you're a Hecarim where you can just kill everyone. You're not a 1v5 champ as Gragas, So you really need to be thinking about your ganks.
I mean, at least jungle in Season 10, you're not going to really 1v9 games as much.
That's true. That's true.
But thanks for that anyway.
No worries,
Definitely
Poltron.
just getting me where I am not focused.
Yeah, I mean, just focus. Just thinking about
Catching me out.
That's right. All right, Poltron, thanks for coming on. Good luck with your continued climbing, and I'll see you in the next one.
See you.
All right, always good to do a good old Poltron review. This was in pretty high ELS. He's Diamond 3, but I think he's in like Diamond 1 Master Tier MMR right now. Aiden says, where's the best place to control ward? On red side, for top win condition, here. This is absolutely the best place to control ward. Love that ward. All right, so let's switch out to the next scene. Let's get our next guest on. We have about 20 minutes left in the show, so we'll start powering through this. Okay, so Kosi actually says he wants a second review as number 6 guest. I think I'm probably not going to have time for you. I do want to sort of wrap this up in around 20 minutes plus, but we'll see how we go. If you're still watching, you can hear me. All right, Barkley, I've just dragged you in now if you want to unmute on Discord.
All right, I'm unmuted.
Excellent. All right, just jumping on to NA now. This is a Zach game of yours, Barkley. So you're talking a bit on Discord. You've been switching champions a lot, and you feel like you have more success on champions that you're not like maining. Like, obviously, we haven't. It doesn't sound like you've got an answer to that, but
I don't.
why is Zach out of all champions? Zach's sort of champion you bounce like around, like you jump on it sometimes, and sometimes you don't like it. Sometimes you jump on it.
I generally only pick Zach if my team has like no other front line.
Yeah.
Like there's no tank, there's no nothing. We need a way to start a fight. That's when I pick Zach. Because if there's one thing Zach is good at, it's starting fights.
So why this game specifically? You do go 8-0-6, so it sounds like you have a pretty good game. You want to sort of know how you could have closed it out quicker, or early game you weren't too sure about?
There's a couple things that I did in the early part of the game that I kind of had questions about. And just like, even in the games I'm doing well, I want to know what I'm doing wrong, because that will just make my early game better.
Yep, just polish it up even further. I love the mindset. All right, well, let's take a look at this game here. Should be up on your screen now. Okay, so let's jump over your runes right now. I think we went over your runes, Zach runes, last time.
Yeah, we've gone over them a few times, actually. I think you actually have a full game review of me and Zach.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, I think these runes are perfect.
Yep.
Revitalize, CDR, armor, health. Okay, cool. So, tell me about your early jungle path, but again, that doesn't really matter for Zach because you just need to get level 4 ASAP, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to 4 in base. But as far as like establishing a win condition, I actually was super happy about all of my lanes in this game. And so I didn't really have any particular way that I thought I was going to win the game immediately. I kind of figured I could play through whichever lane I wanted. I have good setup in every lane. And so I defaulted kind of starting blue and doing the blue to red side clear because I wanted to be closer to my Yasuo and my set.
Okay, interesting. All right, this can work. I mean, obviously, the most efficient jungle path in League is to do red Krugs. Get your
Red
off
Krugs,
first,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So, you obviously don't do Grompier, do you? Because it's very
I do, yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay, yeah. So I think this is so slow. I think in terms of speed, it's really slow. But, I mean, I think it's not worst case scenario, but I just recommend you just always starting. Like, obviously, you said that you want to be around set side. But, again, you even say you want to look to base off level 4. So, I mean, this can work, but what you're also opening up right now is threat to getting invaded on your red, and like it's really hard for you to actually to defend your red as Zach. But you are versus a Nocturne, so you can get.
That's kind of
It's.
I knew I was safe with the level 4 because Nocturne's going to be doing the exact same thing.
So I think you're going to get away with it here, but in general, just be mindful of doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, in terms of win condition, I mean, obviously Yas is a great combo with. I love picking Zach and Yas together.
Yeah, I thought that too. I mean, we're probably not going to get to it, but this Yasuo preferred to march to the beat of his own drum, so he didn't want to group or help or do anything.
There's a split push Yas hero. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just play around him, split pushing sometimes. That actually works as well. You guys can just 2v3, 2v4.
Right.
All right, so I think that this gank is not worth it.
The worst part about it is that it's warded.
Oh, it actually is warded.
Yep.
You actually came in clear warded before, but what did he reward it?
He had to have gone back and rewarded it because when I came back, he walked back.
I mean, the reason why I just don't like this is just setting up yourself for a risk for like no reason. Like, because we don't know where Nocturne is, right? So even if so, like, let's just not do the risk. Let's just go bot side and check Rift Scuttler, Gromp, just keep farming. Like, it's be completely comfortable having a no gank early game as level 4, honestly. Like, I really do like to just base level 4, start getting items, because you're just so weak as just a talisman item, Zach, right now.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about this is if you show top, and let's say Nocturne's bot, right? Then you lose Gromp and potentially your wolves, and you're stuffed. That's the thing as well. So just a lot of factors why I don't want you to be looking at that gank at all. And you've actually been seen here. So I like that you didn't go for it. You backed off. This is good discipline from you. But I wouldn't even had the mindset to even bother ganking top because I don't know where Nocturne is and I don't want to give up my bot side camps.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as he started walking backwards, I was like, he had to have rewarded this.
Well, that's good read of his body language. Alright, so we are going bot now. It's probably good kill there. First blood, awesome stuff. Alright, let's keep farming. Alright, so this is actually, before I want you to start farming, this is the rule that I talk about for jungling. Vision first, then jungle camps.
Okay.
I want you to come and ward this brush. And I talked about it in Poltron's review just then. I love warding this, honestly. Especially that now bot sort of like potentially a win condition. Bot side, control ward this. But I mean, in terms of like, actually Raz was missing, so it might have been actually a little bit risky. Actually, let's think about what you could have done if you actually could have control warded that. But I just want you to place your control ward somewhere, you know, instead of sitting in your inventory. It's useless in your inventory. Yeah, so that's actually pretty suicide for you to walk in here. So in this situation, like, no, just do your Gromp, but just be thinking about ways right now, just where can I place my control ward around my win condition? And I do that, and I always say I love the ward in this brush here.
Yeah, I think we ended up seeing Rise on the Scryer's Bloom too.
Right, Raptor camp, farm. I love vision here. This is really good. You're pressuring. But yeah, this was definitely not gankable. You're out of range with E. If you're out of range with E, just don't even really bother with a gank, honestly. You don't have ult. It's just not, you're not going to be able to combo with Yas, right? So, like, ganking with, like, just your Q is so useless as Zach, right? But I guess we do burn his flash. So...
Yeah, and another thing is, like, I'm still kind of getting used to it because, like, I don't have a ton of games on Zach, but the range on his E, the display for it, is actually shorter than it can actually go.
Yeah, God, no,
and so like on a lot of times,
yeah,
I thought I might be able to tag him.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's sort of just getting familiar with that range as well, right? Just intuition. So, but definitely, I don't think it was possible there. So the worst thing about there now you've showed on mid and you've now gone top side is you're given a free opportunity for Nocturne to do dragon, right? So you've gone top. So look at this now. You've did nothing mid. I mean, you burn his flash, that's something, but it's just not worth how much you've given up here. Because now again, you're going topside, showing this, you know your Krugs, you're opening up again for all your bot side getting taken, you know? So that's why you need to be thinking about your ganks really. I mean, you might not get punished for it because, again, this is like a bit more lower elo. But in high elo, like, you will get punished for that stuff, you know? Okay, we can't be wasting any more time top here. You must go bot. If you show top here, you will lose drag, right? So this is good. You buy into Hulk. Couldn't afford to do controls. That's fine. Nocturne ganks top. Okay, that's good. Come down here. Let's just do dragon with bot priority. Okay, what happens here?
My team is trying to fight instead of just focusing the Drake down and killing the Drake and then turning on the fight. And so I think Syndra dies. I'm not there yet in the video, but I committed to the Drake. Like we came here for the Drake. Let's get the Drake.
Absolutely.
We'll fight afterwards.
Yep. I don't think they actually were fighting. I think it's not so much Vega's fault. Rise actually came down here, ulted. So, I mean, I think this was fine. Vega actually should have ideally Syndra actually came down here and you pushed this out first and then did Dragon. That would have been way safer. Just having hard priority in lanes just makes Dragon so much safer. But I like that your mindset here, just do Dragon, don't fight. This is really, really good by you.
Yeah, I do think we end up turning it around for at least a couple kills.
Yeah, they will now. Well, that was definitely not worth a flash there at all. Definitely not worth a flash. You would have been in range to Q anyway to get the slow. So you see this? Like, that's definitely not
the flash. Yeah.
All right, so a lot of your jungle camps are up. Farm. I need you to keep powering up. Your 2-0, this is, a pretty good early start from you. So let's just go full. I just wanted you to full jungle clear mode right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is not. Oh, do you cancel his rift there? Oh no, you can't cancel the rift.
No, can we slow that down? Because I swear I do cancel his rift, and it goes off anyway. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand how this Rift Herald goes.
That's definitely a cancel. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how that Rift Herald popped up.
I don't know. Did he spell shield it?
No, he's up in the air right there. And the Rift Herald still pops up. Like, I was scratching my head right here. I was like, how is this here?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question. That was a really bad Rift Herald anyway. He's not going to break tower with it.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's fine. Farm, full clear, top side. Then just keep going. See, I think top... I guess Jax is actually low here.
Yeah, and I saw that Jax was low. I've started to get really good at using my F keys, and like I want to dive this Jax, or at least just bully him off the tower.
I think this is the right move, honestly. You still have passive, so you can actually go for dives pretty well.
Yeah, and like I just wanted this kid to be scared, and if he stayed by the tower, I was going to dive him, but he chooses to leave. That's fine. So we proxy a wave, and I think Set gets a plate or two off of this. So.
Yep, I think that's
and like I wonder if I should have stayed here, because my problem right now is I don't know where Nocturne is.
So the rule that I always follow is that whenever I spend a lot of time in a location, like right now you're pressuring, the jungler or even players on the enemy team, they're all going to like gravitate towards you. So right now think of yourself as like a gigantic magnet. You're going to magnetize people towards you. So, thinking about it right now, actually no, Nocturne's mid, but he's actually going top side. So, maybe you could have actually just sat here. What you could have done, like you see Nocturne come top side, like he's probably going to actually ult top. And what I would have done right here is gone into this brush and just cancelled like started base and just cancelled like 2 or 3 bases and just sort of see how like it plays out and then just come for a potential counter gank, you know?
Yeah.
So
I do end up counter ganking him, and I think we do end up killing him, but knowing he was going to ult top was not part of that equation. I just happened to be in the area still and hadn't recalled yet and got lucky.
Yeah, that's a bit of luck there. You could have potentially... That could have been in another situation of those different champs. Maybe Set would have just died and you couldn't have done that. So, All right, well, that's going to be it for the early game. We've gone pretty far past the early game here, but I think pretty solid from you. I mean, 4-0, but I think you could have got punished a little. I think you got away with playing against a Nocturne here a little bit. You definitely could have got punished for these ganks, and I want you to, again, make sure that there's no counterplay to your early jungle path, early gameplay, Barkley. So,
Okay.
yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you. Do you have any other questions around the early game?
Nope, that's it.
All right, great, Barkley. Thanks for coming on, and I will see you next time.
All right.
All right. Well, that was our fourth guess. Our last one is going to be, I believe, Leo. He actually has just gone offline here, so he's not in the waiting room. Right, Kosi, if you're actually still around, I will just drag you on here as the last guest again instead of Leo, and we can look at another one of your recent Xin Zhao games. All right, taking a look a bit at chat now. So, Dodo says, can you flash mid-jump with Zach to get longer range? I've never played him. Can you flash mid? No, you can't flash mid-jump with him. No, unfortunately. How do you deal with tanks late game? I sometimes have 3 tanks on enemy team and I feel like I can't do anything late game. So Wesley, late game tanks, that's where they thrive. And if you're playing a really damage-based champion like Lee Sin, like Elise, Xin Zhao, obviously most recently with my Xin Zhao guides, like you're just so useless against tanks late game. So make sure, the weakness of tanks is they sort of suck early game, so that's when you need to punish them. Rift is 1 second now, sadly. That's why it pops. But I feel like he hit it before that 1 second, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe it was a bug, maybe not. I'm going to give Leo like a little bit of time. Give him like another minute or so. But if not, then actually we'll drag you back on here, Koisi. Right, Koisi, are you still around?
Oh, yes, I'm still around.
Great. Our fourth guest didn't come here, so let's just use you up again for our second one if you want to go over a Xin Zhao game of yours again.
Damn, I'm right now in a ranked game. I literally just started it
really?
because I assumed you couldn't.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I assumed you couldn't. But that's fine. I mean,
unfortunate timing, but you've always got next week.
Yeah, next week, gladly. Thank you, Nathan, for everything, honestly.
No worries, Koisi. Good luck in your ranks game, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
All right, that's going to be it for the show then. Next one will be this time next week again. I'm pretty much going to decide right now. I'm not going to do one. I do need to work on my Eve guide this week. So thanks for watching, guys. If you want to come on the show next week, just join my Discord server. There's a link up there, and you can come on, get your early game reviewed, help you achieve your ranked goals, help you polish up your early game. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next episode of Your First Jungle Clear.